Big changes at Manchester United. Gyokeres' deal collapses, Rashford changes his mind, and 4 players could battle for one spot next season. Let's break it all down, stay tuned. Man United transfer news. Viktor Gyokeres hands Ruben Amorim huge boost as deal collapses. Manchester United remain keen to add some new faces to their squad on the final day of the first transfer window of the summer as they continue to chase Sporting Lisbon's Viktor Gyokeres. Manchester United have had a busy summer transfer window so far, and it's showing no signs of slowing down. The Red Devils have already signed Wolves forward Matheus Cunha after activating his £62.5 million release clause. United have also signed young defender Diego Leon for a bargain fee. But a striker remains on the Red Devils' shopping list before the end of the summer. Sporting Lisbon's Viktor Gyokeres has regularly been linked with a move, but United could face competition from Arsenal. Brentford star Mbeumo has also emerged as a major target, but Thomas Frank's impending move to Tottenham could throw a spanner into the works. The first transfer window of the summer is set to close on Tuesday evening, so club chiefs need to get a move on if they want to sign either of those stars. With that being said, take a look at the latest transfer rumors from the red half of Manchester. Gyokeres rejects move. Man United's hopes of signing Sporting Lisbon striker Viktor Gyokeres have been handed a huge boost. According to L'Equipe, Saudi side Al Hilal made a move for the forward after being turned down by Napoli's Victor Osimhen. It is suggested that they offered him a £30 million a year deal to move to the Middle East. They also indicated to Sporting Lisbon that they would be willing to pay around £55 million. But Gyokeres turned down that offer and remains keen on staying in Europe for the foreseeable future. United remain firmly in the race for his signature alongside Arsenal and Chelsea. Hodgland deal collapses. Should United sign Gyokeres, they might need to move on a couple of their current players. A candidate for an exit could be Rasmus Hojlund amid interest from Italy, but it appears that United's demands could scupper a deal. According to reports in Italy, United want a permanent sale for around £40 million. Inter Milan, Juventus, and Napoli are interested, but they would only be able to do a deal on loan. Hodgland has recently spoken out on his future and claimed he does not want to go anywhere. He said, "I have a contract until 2030, so I expect to play for Manchester United. I'm looking forward to going on a summer vacation, and then I'm fully dedicated to the project that's underway. I know I can't get much out of reading things. I know what the facts are, and that is that I have a contract with Manchester United until 2030. I expect to play there, so I'm just getting ready for some summer vacation and then hopefully a good preseason." Alejandro Garnacho has been told to get on. Why? What is happening with Marcus Rashford after changing mind on Man United transfer? Manchester United winger Marcus Rashford could be on the move this summer. Manchester United winger Marcus Rashford spent the second half of last season on loan at Aston Villa after falling out of favour at Old Trafford. And he may look to leave the 13-time Premier League champions for good this summer, with his future up in the air. Rashford came through the United Academy and bagged 2 goals on his Premier League debut in February 2016 as the Red Devils defeated Arsenal 3-2. He soon became a star at Old Trafford and went on to become a regular in the England team under Gareth Southgate. But after signing a contract extension in 2023, his form nosedived. He eventually headed to Villa Park and impressed under Unai Emery. But it appears his time in the West Midlands is over, and it remains to be seen where he is at the start of next season. Villa had the option to buy Rashford for £40 million following his loan spell at the club. But they made no announcement over a permanent transfer at the end of last season, with the Englishman writing an emotional social media post to thank fans following the conclusion of the campaign. In May, it was reported that Rashford was unwilling to accept a pay cut to leave United, with the blockbuster star reportedly earning wages of around £315,000 per week in the Northwest. But he then changed his mind on the conditions he would accept to force his way out of Old Trafford. Rashford is thought to be keen on a move to Barcelona, with the player's agent, his brother Dwayne Maynard, holding talks with the Catalan club's sporting director Deco at the end of last month. Deco explained weeks earlier, "We like Luis Diaz, we like Rashford, and we like other players. When we go to the market, there are names that we know and that could improve the team." And Rashford was said to be rejecting every transfer offer that came his way in an attempt to hold out for a move to Spain. Barca's boss Hansi Flick and their sporting management were said to be seduced by the winger's extreme motivation to join them. But the transfer could hit a snag as Barcelona don't want to pay the £40 million transfer fee to sign Rashford, according to Bild. And there have even been rumors that the La Liga champions could send goalkeeper Marc-Andre ter Stegen in the opposite direction to lower the fee. It remains to be seen whether Rashford gets his move in the coming weeks. But the 27-year-old has been sent a clear message about his future by former United right-back Gary Neville, who explained on the Overlap show It's Called Soccer, Marcus Rashford has to leave Manchester United. That ship has sailed and he needs to find himself another club. Manchester United could have 4 players fighting for the same position next season. Man United head coach Ruben Amorim might have a big selection dilemma come the start of the 2025-26 season. The prospect of Manchester United playing as few as 40 games next season means head coach Ruben Amorim will not have to rotate quite as frequently as he did last season. United's failure to qualify for the Champions League via the Europa League means they will only have domestic matters to focus on in 2025-26 in the form of the Premier League, the FA Cup and the League Cup. Not since 2014-15 have United had a season without European football. They successfully managed to get back into the Champions League for 2015-16 that season by securing a top 4 finish. Once again, United's main objective next season has to be securing European football for 2026-27. European participation brings a whole host of benefits, not least financially. However, one of the biggest advantages of United being out of Europe next season is that Amorim will not have as congested a fixture schedule to deal with, meaning there will be a lot of free midweeks to spend on the training ground. As encouraging as that could be as a collective, some individuals may find game time much harder to come by. United need to reduce the size of their squad and a whole host of departures are expected. However, the bulk of the exits United are planning for are in the attacking department, with Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho and Antony being identified as priority sales. Alejandro Garnacho has also been told he can leave for the right price. The prospect of each member of that aforementioned quartet being sold will generate funds for United to reinvest elsewhere in the squad. They plan to sign Mbeumo, a striker, a midfielder and a goalkeeper. One area which is not expected to be strengthened, though, is the centre-back department. After signing Matthijs de Ligt and Lenny Yoro last summer and then Aiden Heaven in February, United are very well stocked at the back. Despite the impending exits of out-of-contract duo Johnny Evans and Victor Lindelof, United still have 5 first-team centre-backs they can all upon in the shape of Harry Maguire, Lisandro Martinez, de Ligt, Yoro and Heaven. Nasser Mazraoui and Luke Shaw are also equally comfortable operating in the back three. Injury issues meant United didn't finish the 2024-25 campaign with a settled defense, meaning pre-season is set to determine who will make up Amorim's first-choice back three come the start of the new campaign in August. Amorim could find himself with 4 players believing they are worthy of occupying the left-sided centre-back spot. Martinez, both before and after United switched to a back three, was the club's main left-sided centre-back. However, his season-ending ACL injury meant the position was occupied by several different faces in the second half of the season, including Yoro, Heaven and Shaw. Mbeumo transfer could be bad news for Ruben Amorim favorite at Manchester United. Man United are expected to go back in with a second offer for Mbeumo, who would significantly strengthen the club's attacking options. Slowly but surely an image of how Manchester United could line up at the start of next season is developing. Just over a week into the first stage of the summer transfer window and United have already wrapped up the signing of Wolves star Matheus Cunha. They have now set their sights on attempting to lure Brentford ace Mbeumo to Old Trafford as well. To say United have made an ambitious start to head coach Ruben Amorim's first summer at the helm is an understatement. Cunha has arrived in M16 on the back of a 17-goal season in all competitions and Mbeumo netted 20 goals in the Premier League in 2024-25. Identified as a top target several months ago, Cunha has arrived at Old Trafford with the task of almost certainly filling the left-sided number 10 position. If Mbeumo is successfully drafted in, it is thought he will occupy the right-sided number 10 position. United have finished each of the last 2 Premier League campaigns with a negative goal difference, meaning their decision to try and bolster their attack as their first port of call this summer is a wise one. Cunha and possibly Mbeumo would immediately add the goals that have been missing in previous seasons. Between them, they have plundered 56 goals between them since the beginning of the 2023-24 Premier League campaign. In addition to adding goals to the team, Cunha and Mbeumo would also strengthen the levels of competition for places. Despite Amorim often struggling to find a consistent and productive attack this term, it was not through a lack of options. United have a cluster of players who are capable of playing in either of the two number 10 positions: Bruno Fernandes, Kobbie Mainoo, Mason Mount, Alejandro Garnacho, Joshua Zirkzee, Cunha, and Ahmad. With Garnacho facing the prospect of being sold and Fernandes looking increasingly likely to be deployed as a number 8 next season amid Cunha's arrival, the size of that list will reduce, meaning Mainoo, Mount, Zirkzee, Cunha, Ahmad, and potentially Mbeumo will all be challenging to start in the two number 10 positions. Of course, each of those players are versatile to some degree, but the majority will believe that is their best position in Amorim's 3-4-2-1 system. If Mbeumo signs, Ahmad is highly likely to be installed as United's first-choice right wing-back and operate from out wide. However, Mainoo and Mount will be less assured of regular starting berths. Mainoo has struggled to force his way into the starting 11 this calendar year, with his one-minute cameo against Tottenham Hotspur in the Europa League final feeling rather telling about where he currently sits in Amorim's plans. Meanwhile, Mount started the last 4 games of the season, including the Europa League final.